Hello everyone, welcome to Flosstube 5, I think we're on 5, probably 5. Thank you for joining me again. Thank you so much everyone who's subscribed over the last 4 episodes. This is 5. Oh dear. It's been really nice to have you all join me and enjoy seeing what I'm stitching and doing, and I've been having a blast. So yeah. My mate Shauna, Periwinkle Floss, has just started Flosstube, and she's got some really amazing projects. So you should go check her out. I'll link her there and in the description. So yeah, go have a look. She did her first one about a week ago, and it's great. So yeah, do go take a look. Let's dive straight in because, unlike last week, I've got quite a lot to talk about. So I've been on holiday for a week. So my parents were here, which was really nice. And we spent some time going around various different museums and went out to Kew for a day, Kew Gardens, which is a massive botanical garden out on the outskirts of London. And it was just really nice. Did a lot of walking, spent some time, went to the Wildlife Photographer of the Year at the Natural History Museum, which is basically like a big competition for people who take photographs of nature. So we went and saw that, which was lovely, and we went to the museum that I work at, which is challenging. The content is always challenging, yeah. So we had a lovely time. Ate 2 very, very nice meals. Which is always nice when parents come and treat you to nice meals. And it was the first time I've seen them actually since both of my grandparents unfortunately passed away both my remaining grandparents passed away during the previous year. So it's the first time I've seen them since that happened. So it was really nice to just kind of catch up with them and kind of share some stories and commiserate together. So sad, but really nice. So yeah, that took a turn, didn't it, into the sad. But I think everyone's got those kind of stories this year. So yes, the rest of the week I should have been working on my dissertation, but I have not because I've just not been in the right place to do it. So that's going to be an evening job over the next few weeks. So yes, wish me luck. Anyway, I thought I'd show you one of my embroidery projects that I did as a finish this week rather than a cross-stitch one, so I hope you don't mind. I did this basically when we play Dungeons & Dragons D&D, we all have pause cards so that if anything happens in game that we're slightly uncomfortable with, or if someone needs to go to the loo, or double goes, we pause the game so that we can deal with it or have a conversation out of game before we carry on. And I decided that I was going to make myself an embroidered pause card to have to hand so that it would be colourful and fun. And yeah, so I made this one, which is entirely French knots. And I know the cross-stitch community has a real hatred of French knots, but this is actually the second project, embroidered project I did that is entirely French knots. I did my name a few years ago, which was really big. It was in a really big hoop. I actually have that in my sewing journal, which I'll show you at some point, but it's a faff to get down. It's not a faff to get down, it's just over there, but I just haven't done it yet. So this is my embroidered pause card, and what I did is basically each of these letters, come on, focus. No, we'll hold it back here. Each letter has 3 different colours in it, 3 different tones of the same colour to give a bit of depth, and I really like it. And all I did was I wrapped it onto a bit of cardboard, laced it at the back, and it's been going strong for a year now. So yeah, that's my embroidered pause card. I'm very pleased with it. I would probably make another one if this one, for any reason, stopped existing. I probably wouldn't do French knots again though, because they are time consuming. This many French knots is time consuming, but the effect is amazing. And I don't know how I'm best going to show you like the kind of textured effect you get standing out from fabric. I love entirely French knots projects. Yeah, so I probably would, even though it takes time. I do love it. So yeah, that was that. Let's move on to my cross-stitch projects. I haven't finished anything this week. Last time was a bit of an anomaly with 2 finishes, my beach dance and my something else. I finished something else. Oh, the koi pond, because I spent so long working on those 2 projects that they just happened to kind of knock finish off. But I did frame my beach dance. I can't show it to you here because I have already given it as a gift to the person I was giving it to, because they happened to be here, so I just kind of gave it to them. What I will do is I'll pop a picture. Huh? I don't know, Chris does the editing, so the pictures go where the pictures go, of what it looked like. I put it in a grey frame, which I think looked really nice with all the kind of the muted blue tones in the background and then the brighter colours and the shades of the birds. I just thought grey looked nice, and the person I'm giving it to, yeah, I just thought grey would work quite well, probably in whatever living situation they were in. They could, grey goes with everything. So anyway, yeah, put it in a grey frame with a white mount. It's a 6x6 aperture, which fit exactly onto it. There's some stitches at the side which are just under, but I don't mind that because, like I said, I didn't do the checkerboard outline, so I wanted it to sit exactly. And I was very careful when I was pinning because I pin onto foam core. I haven't tried lacing yet, but I probably will at some point. But yeah, at the moment I'm pinning onto foam core, and was very careful to get the sand at the bottom. There's like 3 lines of a yellowy sand colour straight, so that where that sat at the bottom, that was straight. So yeah, it was interesting. I really enjoyed the actual process of framing it was a challenge, which was nice. So yeah, that was that. So you'll be able to see that. No, this side here. So yeah, that was my I guess my fully finished, which I can't show you because it's gone. But yeah, I was pleased with that. What I've been stitching, so I've put quite a lot of time into my Dark Queen of the Seas from Autumn Lane Stitchery. So here it is. Doesn't she look good? Yeah. So what I've been doing is mostly coming down here and putting in all of the body. So yeah, really pleased. I'm getting used to stitching on this. I know I've said a couple of times that it's floppier and it takes a bit of work. I think it's just because I mostly stitch at night, so it's a little bit darker, so it's harder to see the hold, and it is a slightly darker fabric. But I'm getting the hang of it, and the effect is amazing, so I'm really pleased with it. The fabric is it's a Chromatic Alchemy fabric, who is a UK hand dyer, UK based hand dyer. She's called Samantha, the woman who does it, and she's great. And this is a linen. It's 32 count linen, and it's absolutely stunning. That's the whole effect. It's a really big piece because the piece itself is massive. And 32 count Belfast linen, I like hand dyed. I've actually seen the even weave counterpart since. I'm in the Facebook group and you see what people kind of post. And I actually think the even weave is just as stunning, to be honest. It's slightly more muted, but it's nice. Or was it Hades, which I have the linen of as well, which is the even weave is also very comparable and is very nice. So it's useful to be in the Facebook groups because you see more of the fabrics. Because like the snippet that you see on the website is really useful because you're like, that I would say that the what you see on the website for Chromatic Alchemy is really comparable to what you get in real life, which is really great. But obviously what you see when people are doing it, you see a lot more of the fabric, which is great because you get a lot more to kind of compare to, and you see like what the kind of, you see here like how much is purple, how much is blue. Like obviously that's going to be different on each hand dyed piece, but it gives you an idea of what you're working with. So that's really nice. And yeah, when you're in the Facebook groups, you see a lot more pieces, like bigger pieces and pieces that people have worked on, so you can see what stitches look like on it, which is really nice. But I'm pleased with this. It's coming along great. I'm just I have now almost finished part 2. There is a tiny bit because because it's a stitch along, it is. I mean, it finishes in September, and I started it in April. So I'm well behind. So I'm just doing it as I fancy. But basically, part 2 is a tiny bit more up here, or this side, and then tiny bit more in here, and then I've got to finish the rest of part 1, which is another fish here and another fish here. And then once I finish those 2, I have to decide whether I want to go down here and do more of the boring tentacly bit, or up here and start getting it into kind of face and body. And to be honest, I could do both at the same time, because I have both parts and I can choose which way I want to go. And I have a feeling that what I will probably do is do tentacles first, because I've seen how much tentacle there is, and it's a lot. So getting that out of the way, getting that done, and then going up and doing the more interesting bit is probably going to work better for me than if I do the interesting bit and then it's like, oh god, now there are 10,000 stitches of tentacle. That's gonna take a long time for me to do, because I find it less interesting. So I have found now that I'm less likely to join stitch alongs immediately if it's a mystery, because I don't know. I don't like not knowing what I'm stitching. Like I if I'm going to put that much time and energy into it, I'd rather know what it's going to look like. And I like, with this one, I came in at part 7, I think. So I chose to start in the middle, but actually I could have started anywhere, pretty much, apart from right at the bottom, which hadn't come out yet. But by the time I started stitching it, the bottom had come out, so I could have started at any point on her body. And I knew what it was going to look like. People had already stitched quite a lot of different variations, so I could see what differences people had already started making, so I could have made changes if I wanted to. And I don't know. I don't know if I'd go straight in for a stitch along where it's like, you don't know what you're doing. I don't know. I find that it's a lot of commitment to something that I just don't know what I'm doing. So I don't know. I don't like committing to things. Sea Dragon. Put some work into Sea Dragon. Oh, that's sideways. That's also sideways. This way. So there's my Sea Dragon. It's coming along. I'm actually a quarter done. And it doesn't look a quarter done. Oh god, which way is... But it is a quarter done. And it's so hard. Honestly, it's easier to hold them over here where I can see it. Yeah, I absolutely adore this. You can now see his face coming in here, I think, a lot better than you could previously. Hang on, just hold it so I can hold it in a single hand. Yeah, so the face is coming in here, and then basically the body like spirals round. And I'd forgotten, because on Pattern Keeper you can't see the back stitch. I'd forgotten how much back stitch there is in this pattern. So much back stitch in different colours, and when you see the pattern, there's all these lines on it that are different colours to mark out all the different colours of backstitch, because there's a lot, but the effect is incredible, so I'm really looking forward to it actually being ready and done. And I to be honest, I already think it looks incredible, but the backstitch is just going to give, like, for example, these are fins coming off, but you can't tell because they kind of blend into all the rest of the blue and green that's going on, whereas the backstitch really just defines them and gives them that, like, these are definitely fins. So once I finish it, once the backstitch is on, once I've decided if I'm going to do these as white or if I'm going to put beads in, because I haven't decided yet, because I have a lot of beads, a lot of seed beads from when I did the koi pond. I have a lot of clear seed beads that could look amazing on this, that I think would just kind of elevate it. So I'm leaving all these spaces where I might put seed beads in. And I'll have to see how they would interact with the backstitch, because, like I said, on my pattern that I'm working on, I can't see the backstitch because I'm working on Pattern Keeper. So I need to look at the actual pattern and go, like, where's the backstitch? Where would I be putting beads? And just think about it a bit more carefully. But at the moment, I'm just ploughing on and getting all of the colours in, and I'm really happy with how this looks. And yeah, this pattern has been a joy to stitch. I would really recommend it. This is Sea Dragon by... oh, no, I looked up how to say it, but it was like 3 weeks ago. Nadezdha. If you type it in online, you can get a voice that tells you how to say it. Hang on, let us do that. How do I pronounce? No, pronouns. Oh God. Nadezdha.
Pronouncenames.com.
Nadezdha.
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 Nadezdha. Nadezdha. Nadezdha Gavrilenkova. Yeah, Nadezdha Gavrilenkova. I might ask Chris to put in how you spell it below. Actually, it'll be in the description box, so you can have a look there. The pattern is by her, and actually found out that she has an Etsy shop with where you can buy directly from her, and she has all of these incredible dragon patterns. So if you are a dragon person, check her out, because like I chose the blue one, but there's like a rainbow one which is glorious. Yeah, and her patterns are, like I said, for full coverage. If you're new to full coverage, it's about 15,000 stitches, which is a really like achievable number of stitches. Like it doesn't you're not looking at 75,000 stitches and going, I will never complete this in my lifetime. Or like, I mean, if that's a mini Haid at Heaven and Earth Designs. If you're looking at a really big Haid, like I don't know how big those are. Like I don't know. If the mini one is 75,000, you're looking at like 150,000. I know, but 15,000 is really achievable. Like you can do that in 6 months or shorter or longer, however long you take to stitch things. And the colours are in swathes. So it's not like one stitch, one stitch, one stitch, one stitch. You're like, oh, my colour is here. And then my next colour is here. And my next colour is here. So you get a really pretty effect and it looks amazing, but you're not stitching like single dots of colour. You're stitching an entire swathe of colour, which is much more satisfying and faster to stitch. So if you're someone who looks at people stitching Heaven and Earth Designs and goes, I could never stitch that much confetti, or I don't enjoy stitching that much confetti, but I really want to do a full coverage pattern, I would really recommend looking at some of these patterns, because they have a similar, I guess, effect if you're into that kind of style, but much easier to stitch and much more, I mean, to my mind, satisfying to stitch, much easier. You will be working with blends though, so 2 strands of DMC held together so that you make a different colour, which is nice. So yeah, it's different. It is different, but I would say, certainly as a way into full coverage to see if you like it, they're much smaller. They're much more kind of like, you're not committing to a massive piece straight away, which is, might work for some people, might not work for others. It's up to you. Make your own choices. Oh God. Another thing that that one is on Azure Blue 32 count merino, and I think it's coming up pretty true to colour. Yeah, so that is really coming up really good on that. I thought it would be more turquoisey when I bought it, and when it came it was just really, really blue. So yeah, Azure Blue Merino 32 count, that one is, and it is a joy to stitch on. My next piece is is My Dreaming Person. The pattern is Dreaming Girl by Barbara Anna. Mine is Dreaming Person, and I'm doing a fantastic storming job of getting this slowly getting this one coming along. So since you last saw My Dreaming Person, I have put in be higher, more of the hair, these golden houses, which I love, and I actually changed the colour of the moon and stars to be silver because I really like the contrast. I know you can't see it very well on this camera because they're pale, but I love the contrast between like the golden sun over here and then the silvery moon over here, and then when I get down into this corner there's going to be like snow, and snowy houses, and I'm changing the houses to be purple in this corner. So there'll be like golden houses up here, golden sun, silvery moon, light houses, and then purple houses with snow. And I just think that's going to look great, and I'm excited about it. And I think that they look amazing. Yeah. And I'm debating. So if you have thoughts, let me know. But I'm debating, that's the wrong bit I'm folding, whether I want to take this curl out, because it's really uber feminine, and I'm not sure aesthetically if I like it. But it mirrors this curl up here, in the hair here. And then also the hair, I haven't stitched it yet, but the hair ends in a curl at the end, which I'm fine with. And like, people have curly hair. It's just that I don't have curly hair. And I find that particular curl, like that style of curl, very uber feminine, which is fine, but I just don't know if I want it. So I'm considering taking it out. I don't know. But also then it would leave a massive blank space. Torn, very torn. I was like, literally at the point of like ripping out, and I was like, do I want to take it out? I don't know. So yeah, a bit uncertain about that. Oh, yeah, very torn about that curl. What I might do is take it out and put in like a different hair bit that's just like straight, just not super cut, just not this like massive twirl. Anyway, I'm still thinking about it. This piece of fabric is also from Chromatic Alchemy, and I love it. It was from their experimental dye section, and it's a 27 count, Linda. And yeah, I wish it wasn't a one-off, because it's amazing, and I wish that I'd cut it slightly better, because look at all that space at the top. And I also cut, I think I just cut it in half and did Dreaming Frida on one half and Dreaming Person on the other half. And if I'd actually, measured, I could have got something else in the middle. But, things are what they are. And I'll cut it now so that I have, enough to do something very small and thin on this bit. So yeah, it's fine. It's just I could have measured better, definitely. But yes, no, I'm very, very happy with how Dreaming Person is coming along. It's a very good, if I need something to do, I have all this hair to fill in that I've already outlined, so I can just go in and fill it in. So it's a very good, I don't need to think about this, but I can just do it project. And I think it's coming along great. Just a band sampler. I went back in. Oh, it's got a string on it. Oh, it's where the overlock was unraveling. So there it is, the whole thing. I'm really, really happy with how it's looking. What I have been doing is working on this, this specialty band. As you can see, I've been starting to put in this yellow. I finished off the orange band of specialty stitches with these square ones. Fold it. It's too big, too much fabric. Right, okay. What can you see? My camera is right in front of my screen, which is very unfortunate. The square ones here, which are really fun. I really enjoyed those. And then the raised stitches, I finished all of those. And then I started, basically this mirrors again on the other side in the yellow. So I started with the yellow stitches here. And then I need to put square yellow stitches, and then these ones, and then the row of squares. And then I get onto my my next row of cross stitch. And I want to finish this specialty band and the next row of cross stitch this month, so that I can kind of get on with getting on with it. But that is the corner. So that is as wide as it will be. Is that the corner? Is the next one coming down here? Anyway, somewhere over here, this band is the corner. So that is as wide as it will be, and now it starts just going down, which is cool. It's very exciting. So yeah, I'm thrilled about that. Now they're just very long. they are just very long. Like these specialty bands are very long, so it takes a long time to do them, especially if they've got a lot of stitches in them. Like this the square ones. These square ones have a lot of stitches in them, so they take a very long time to do each stitch. So it takes a very, very long time before you get to the point where you're like, oh, I finished the entire row and now I can move on to the next specialty stitch. But I'm really enjoying it. I would really recommend, if you're nervous about Twisted Band Sampler, give it a go. The instructions are really good. I know there are some patterns with specialty stitches where the instructions are not good, but the instructions on the Twisted Band Sampler are really good. Like really, really good. I hadn't done any of these stitches before, so they're all new to me, and it's fine. You just need to be careful with your counting, where you start and where you finish. Yeah, it's great, and I'm really enjoying it, and I think the effect is amazing. And like I said before, if you're looking at it and you're like, I really like the effect, but I don't want to do the specialty stitches, what you can do is look at the that pattern is by Northern Expressions Needlework. Oh. And if you like the diagonal bands, but you just want to do cross stitch, they have another version, which is called the Rainbow Sampler. It's on their Etsy, and that is basically the same thing. So a diagonal band sampler, but all the bands are cross stitch. So it moves through the rainbow. It's diagonal, but all bands are cross stitch, and they're slightly different. Like there's an alphabet in there. There's a numerical band, but that's entirely cross stitch. And I think because I'd originally seen this, I thought I saw it from MDX Stitch, but having looked back, I think that she's actually doing the rainbow band sampler rather than a twisted band sampler. Because if you look at her, she's got the alphabet and the numbers in it, so she's doing the cross stitch only one. So if you want like a live version of what the rainbow band sampler looks like, you can go back to some of her earlier videos and you can see what hers looks like. She's definitely doing the rainbow band sampler from Northern Expressions Needlework, whereas this is the twisted band sampler. And so I've changed the colours in mine. Sorry. Because I wanted a brighter rainbow. So I put the Crystal put the picture up of what it's supposed to look like earlier, and you can see it's slightly more muted. And those colours don't vibe for me, especially like you can see the green band across the middle is the biggest band, and I don't want a massive band of really muted green. So I have changed all the colours. I'm actually still waiting for some greens that I ordered to come so that I can change it. So it's fine because I haven't got to the greens yet, but I will soon because I'm in the yellows, and after yellow comes green. So hopefully those will arrive shortly, so that I can actually kind of see if they're right and pop them in if they are, and order some different ones if they aren't, because I'm going to be there relatively soon. 3 more. So I've got that half specialty band in the pale yellow, then I'll have a half cross band in the pale yellow, then I'll have a half cross band in the medium yellow, and a half specialty band in the medium yellow, and then a half, it'll take a while before I get to the green, but still, for peace of mind, I would like them to arrive. But yeah, so anyway, if you'd like to see what it looks like in the original colours as charted, Sarah, the Stitching Mummy, is doing it in the as charted DMC, and she showed hers on her most recent video. Well, hang on, when do I go out? Yeah, when it would have been last week. So I'll pop a card up to her so you can see what it looks like in the kind of the original as charted colours, and then mine is in the slightly brighter version that I've pulled out. And I mean, at the moment it just looks slightly brighter, but when I get into the blues and the purples, I've pulled a really bright blue, and I do have plans for some really bright greens. So yeah, I'm quite excited about getting slightly further down. All right, let's move on. That's on 32 count Belfast linen, just in a white colour. Next up is the new normal, and I feel like I've slightly burnt myself out because I've been working on one particular bit of this that is taking forever. The new normal is a pattern by Longdog. I love it. I'm really excited because I know I'm going to finish it this year. I'm now at 40%. We're in June. So yeah, it's going to be done. But, oh my goodness, this middle circle, it's big. Here it is. Oh, stop rolling. Oh. There we go. I'm really, really pleased with it. I love it. But this bit, all of this bit, it's huge. There are so many stitches in it. And it's not even done. Like, there's still all of this. And then this bit goes up into a point into, like, another circle. And I was like, well, if I just get that bit done, then, I'll have done it. And actually, what I should have done is done, like, a bit in here, then moved over here and done a bit over here, and gone back and done a bit over here and done a bit over here, because really focusing on this bit in here has meant that I've kind of burnt out and got to the point where I'm like, don't want to stitch any more trees, done with trees, don't want to look at any more trees. So what I've done is I stopped. I came over here and I started stitching this bit up here, which starts taking me up into the final third of the pattern. But it just, that tree bit is a monster. And I'm not convinced that it's any more dense than the flower one down here. I mean, I think it is actually more dense than the flower one, but it's just like so many stitches. And I'll be glad when it's done, is all I'm saying. I'll be glad when it's done. Because I think the worst bit about it is I'm not even sure what this diagonal thing is supposed to be. I think if I knew what it was supposed to be, I'd feel less like, what the hell am I stitching? But I don't even know what it is. So yeah. Anyway, I still love it. I'm still super happy about it, and I'm still going with it. But I had to give myself a break from that middle section. Just absolutely done with it. But this will be done by the end of the year because I want to finish this rabbit bubble here and put 2021 in it. I mean, I could do that anyway because I've done most of the stitching in 2021. But I want it to be like legitimately finished in 2021. So, did you see that Longdog brought out a new pattern? It's, I don't know what it's called, but it's based on like the Gothic archers, and it's got all these different animals in it. And I think my favourite one is that there's a whale at the bottom, just like inside these archers, which I think is really cool. And I did look at it and I was like, maybe when I finish this one and I feel ready to take on another one. Oh, sneak peek of the back there, looking all right. I don't tend to carry threads in anything that's not full coverage. I just finish and move on because I don't really need to. Also on this one, the stitching is so dense that I rarely have the opportunity to carry threads because I've usually finished the thread by the time I need to move on. That is on another 32 count merino, which is an even weave. It's in burgundy, which I absolutely adore, and I'm very, very chuffed with. And I'm stitching that with just a sulky, single strand of sulky in one of their, I think it's just their white, slightly variegated, and it's really enjoyable. Actually, I think I would say that if I was going to stitch another sampler like that, where I was going to commit to doing it for the entire year and be done, I would probably aim to do it again in a something that I could do it with a single strand, because the ease of just being able to pull a single strand and just go is so much less faff than having to split DMC and rebobinate bits. And yeah, I really do enjoy just being able to pull a single strand off the bobbin and go. And I will say, the king spools, which are these, is so handy. Like, I just have it on my desk because I'm working on this almost every single day. I just have this on my desk, and just whenever I want, it's there, it's available. I just pull it out, pull a strand, and it's ready to go. And I showed you my trick with the magnet on the top. So I have a tiny magnet stuck to the top of this this silky thing, which has, so it even like my needle is on the top of this as well. So everything that I need to stitch the new normal is available at all times for me, ready to go. So yeah, it's yeah, sticking the magnet on the top of this was a genius idea from me, and I'm very pleased with it. Also, if you haven't come across Sulky before and you're not aware of this, you can pull out the ends, the bobbins, so that you can wrap the end of your thread in. I never do because I'm gonna it never moves off my desk, and I'm gonna use it again in the next 24 hours. If you can wrap the end of your thread in and then push the end in again to secure it, so that if you're worried about them unraveling, it is then secure, and the next time you want to use it, you just pull the end out again. So that's why you sometimes see people with like the ends missing off because they've broken. But that's a little trick of the sulky bobbins. What is next? Next is a new start. I had a new start. I've had the fabric and the floss for this for about 2 months, and I was like, what should I do today? Well, I could start this, work on all the other things I've got going. I could start this, and I started it, and then what happened was I didn't put it down, and then I looked at my pattern keeper. I was like, wow, I've stitched 30%, 30% over the course of 3 days, which is amazing. Because it's great, and I'm really enjoying it. It's an owl forest pattern. It's called Kingfishers. It's one of their bird samplers. I have bought all of the bird sampler patterns because their patterns are so cheap, and I have threads for most of them, and I have fabric for most of them because I'm a planner, in the sense of like I like to match things up. So this is Kingfishers. Doesn't it look amazing? Let's just all behold that for a little bit longer. I'm so chuffed with this. This fabric is another Chromatic Alchemy fabric. Look at it, just look at it. This is called Eastery. It's a sort of what do you even call that? It's like turquoisey blue with little grey splotches, which reminds me of like eggs. It reminds me of eggs. And the Kingfisher sampler, the one that they have the picture of, which will be around, is on like slightly blue fabric. And I was like, well, I'm going to do it on blue fabric, but I'm not going to do it on just blue fabric. I'm going to do it on amazing blue fabric, and it looks stunning. And I was slightly worried that the blue fabric would not show up the Kingfishers as well, but actually all it's done is meant that the Kingfishers show up beautifully, and all these white flowers and the yellow bits show up amazingly as well. And honestly, like, I am in love with this. Yeah. Lost for words. Like, genuinely couldn't be happier. Yeah. And another thing that I absolutely adore about this pattern, and I hadn't kind of appreciated until I started, is every single motif only occurs once. So once you stitch this flower, that's it. That flower's only there once. Once you stitch these flowers, that's it. They're done. They're only in there once. This Kingfisher, only there once. This Kingfisher, there once. These lily pads, once. So like everything you stitch is new, which is great because like you're not there going like, oh, I stitched this a million times and I feel bored of it. Like, no, everything is new. So it's really exciting because you're like, oh, what am I doing next? And each motif, like if you're the kind of person who's like, oh, I want to break this up and do it over, like if you're doing like 25/7 or whatever it's called, this will be a great one because you'd be like, well, I stitch a motif each day, or you know, whatever works for you. But yeah, it's fantastic because each motif is like a separate little thing of its own. It's great. I love it. It's genius. And having started this now, I'm more excited about doing all the other bird samplers that I have the threads for in the fabric. So yeah, Kingfishers, you're going to see more of it. Sorry, I will try not to rant in such a way. Again, these threads, before I put before I put it down and stop talking about it. These threads are the Alpha threads, and they are glorious. Look at those kingfishers. I mean, just look at this kingfisher. It's beautiful. It's glorious. I'm thrilled. I'm gonna put it down now. That's a 32 count linen, by the way, just in case you were wondering. Yeah, I got distracted. Anyway, yeah, I'm very, very happy with that one. The final one that I've worked on, we're not doing too badly. It's only 40 minutes. Is my Mirabilia, which is Royal Games 1, and I finished the Queen of Hearts. And when I say finished, okay, bear with me. I haven't put any of the beads in, so she doesn't look finished, but I promise you, she is done. Okay, I haven't done the heart either, because I don't trust myself to count out to it, but basically. And I could put the beads on, because I stitch in hands, there's no, like, threat of them being crushed by the hoop. But I don't want to, because it'll make it heavy to stitch, and I just, there's a lot of stitching still to go with the Queen of Spades. I just don't want to have that all on my wrist. So, Queen of Hearts is done for now. She looks incredible. I'm so thrilled. Look at all those flowers in her crown. Yeah, honestly, like, amazing. I can't put the back stitch on. I would have put the back stitch on, but I can't, because the way I'm doing these patterns is basically I have tracing paper over the original pattern. I don't know why, because I could have just written on the pattern, like, it's there to be used. But something in me was like, you don't draw on the pattern. But I could have done, because it's my pattern, and anyway, I put tracing paper over the pattern, and I've been marking off in pencil as I've been stitching. And what that has done is basically meant that I can't see where any of the back stitch is. So for the moment, until I'm ready to take the tracing paper off, none of the back stitch can be done, because I can't see where it goes. So yeah, there's still back stitch to go onto her to define her, although actually I think she looks great without it. So I'm not sad that it's not there yet. And then we started on the Queen of Spades, and I got quite a lot done. This was all yesterday. I did quite a lot of work on her shoulder. So basically, the Queen of Spades is kind of a mirror. Queen of Spades? Queen of Spiders. Kind of a mirror of the Queen of Hearts. So she has one arm up, but it's on the other side, and then she has a shoulder, and her shoulder is, I mean, she has two shoulders, but the shoulder where the arm is not visible. Yeah, so her arm is up here, and then this one is just like a shoulder. And it's really nice to have the contrasting colours in. So now you can kind of see that there'll be a pair. But yeah, it was nice to get out not pinks once. So yeah, made a start. I'll get there. There's more beads on her gown, on her, like, shouldery bits of her gown, than the Queen of Hearts has. The Queen of Hearts, all the beads are concentrated in the middle and on her, like, arms and neck, whereas there are beads in here, which is exciting. But yeah, I'm very, very pleased. There's the Queen of Hearts upside down. I'm very, very pleased with this. I'm really, really happy with how that has turned out. That looks amazing to me. And yeah, just very, very happy to keep going and to keep it all on the go. I'm doing this on another 32 count merino. It's antique white, because I wanted to mimic the look of a playing card. So yeah, that is the Mirabilia. And now we shall move on to all the things that I have bought, which was unfortunately quite a lot. Unfortunately for my wallet, I'm not sad about it. Everyone started talking about country garden threads, and I was like, well, how good can they be? And then I was like, well, I've been looking to join a thread club for a while, because I like the idea of having a lot of different hand-dyed threads that I can just pick from. and I found a UK supplier who does a Country Garden Threads thread club. It's over the course of 6 months, and over the course of 6 months, you get the entire collection. I was like, well, I can commit to that. That's fine. And so I joined, and they sent me the first 5, one of which is in my bedroom. So I can't show you that because I don't want to go fetch it. But it's nice. It's the least interesting. It's sort of a variegated blue. So the 5 that I have to show you are salvia, which I read and I was like, why would you call a thread saliva? But that's not what it's called. It's called salvia, which is this sort of interesting variegated green. I have sweet pea, which is green and pink, which is cool. I have tea rose, which is muted pinky, yeah, pinky browns. And I have tea party, which is yellowy browns, which I really like. And I already have some of these kind of earmarked for various things, like, I want to say earworm, but that's not the right word. Thoughts. No, gone. That word is no longer in my brain. Anyway, I have some of these I have some of those already earmarked. Earmarked for various different. Earmarked is a weird word. Anyway, some of those I already have marked for different projects that I'm kind of like percolating in my brain, and I'm just really excited at the thought of having like a collection of threads that when I get a project, I can look at what's charted, I can look at what I have, and I can go, I like these 5 DMC that they've chosen, and I want to pull these 2 specialty threads. And because I don't have that many, it hasn't been possible to go to thread shops. B, I don't know that many sewing shops in London. Like, if anyone knows thread shops in London that aren't like miles out on the outskirts, please let me know, because I'd love to know more. So it hasn't been possible to be like, I will go to a thread shop and I will hand select which ones I want. Like, that's not really something that's realistic for me at the moment. Whereas, like, if they're all in my house, I can go to my house. I can go to that bit of my house. Oh god, this sounds weird. I can go to my shelf and be like, yes, I want to pick these 3 and put them together. And I'm really excited about having that option. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And yeah, that was kind of my thinking. And I wouldn't be able to be like, I will in one go buy the entire set, but over the course of 6 months, that's feasible for me. And then replacing one-offs when I use them, if I use them. I mean, it takes a long time to use a single skein of thread. And like, also, if I'm looking at them and I'm like, I want to do an entire project in this thread, like, I love it so much that I want to do an entire project in this thread alone, I can actually look at the one I've got and go, right, I'm going to need 6 more. But I actually have one that I can look at, whereas I just can't even look at them at the moment, which is, yeah. So anyway, that was my thinking, and I'm really excited about it, and yeah, very, very happy. And the ones that I've got, I'm very happy with. So obviously I'm in Essence and teas at the moment, so next month I'll probably get more teas. What else did I get? Had a bit of I'd ordered some things from Owl Forest that came. So this is the thread packs for Goldfinchers. Oh god, that's so shiny. I'm very excited about this. The other amazing thing about these is, as I realised for Kingfishers, if you buy the thread pack as opposed to the kit, you get an entire skein of the thread. So I'm not going to use all of these threads in my Goldfinchers project. There's no way I'm going to use all of those threads in my Kingfishers project. So I'm going to have some of these left over. So again, these will be threads that I can pull into other things. And I love them, so I'm very excited about it. And this is Sunflowers and Geese. Sunflowers and Geese, which I think is the most underrated Owl Forest pattern. Can't believe I just said that. Yes, I'm going to put it out there. The most underrated Owl Forest pattern. I have not seen anybody talking about it, and I adore it. I'm going to put a picture Yeah. There are geese. There are baby geese. There are sunflowers. There is a house. Why is nobody stitching this? It's amazing. I'm very excited. I don't know when I'm going to stitch it, but I'm stitching that pattern. I've got the thread. Got the thread. I think that this one here, this orange, is Baby Goose. I'm really excited. I also got the kit for Dinosaur Forest, and I haven't opened this, so I thought we could open it together and have a look at it. Now, the only thing I need is a pair of scissors, and I, of course, put them somewhere else. So let's have a gander at what's inside. Dinosaur Forest. Open. There we go. So it comes in this nice box, a big box. So I have all the threads, much more of a greeny brown palette for Dinosaur Forest. I have a little like thank you for purchasing and some instructions on how to cross stitch, which I will check out just in case there's anything in there that I don't already know. This is the fabric, which is a sort of brown, greeny brown. They send linens, which means that I can actually stitch on it, as opposed to if they send Ada, which I just will not stitch on anymore. It's just I've moved beyond my Ada days. I'm not doing it, apart from very, very tiny things, because it irritates me, and I don't find it nice to stitch in hand. I have this very cute needle minder with a, could you just focus on that please? With a pterodactyl on it, and with the needle already attached. Their needle minders are great. They're really strong. I really like them. I'm thrilled about that. And then this, which I won't open to show you, is the pattern. So that is what to expect if you get an Owl Forest kit. I'm really excited about Dinosaur Forest. I'll pop my picture up here so you can see the pattern in more depth. What I'm planning on doing is stitching Dinosaur Forest. I mean, it's going to take a while. It's quite a big pattern. But that will be, hopefully, by the time I finished it, my stepson Ivo will still like dinosaurs. And that will be as a gift to go in his room. So fingers crossed he still likes them by the time I've finished. If not, I'm sure I can find someone else who really likes dinosaurs. But yes, Dinosaur Forest. Very excited about that. The next thing I bought, I did not go on a shopping spree. Some of these I had already kind of had ordered and they just arrived. Some of them I did just buy. Yeah. Someone was selling some Mirabilias online, some old Mirabilias, as in like they had them and didn't want them anymore. And these three particularly appealed to me. So this is the Petal Fairy, which I thought was cute. And it's, okay, it's not that small, but it's small-ish. 161 by 287. Okay, it's friggin' massive. But it's cute. And at some point, I will change the skin colour on this and stitch it. And then I got another cute. I really like this one. I love the just the composition of this. I absolutely adore. But I will change some of the colours on this because I don't want to do an entire dress in black. That is, yeah, it's another quite big one. 165 by 120, but quite a lot of that is white space. So, yes, this one is called Magnolia. I do, yeah, I adore the composition on that. I think it's absolutely stunning. So, yeah, again, may change the skin tone. And then this one, which is actually full coverage, so we'll see when I get round to this. It's 130 by 130, so it's not massive full coverage, but still relatively big. But I just really, really like it. Yeah, called Silver Moon Tea. I don't know if I'd stitch the words, but I just, yeah, something about that just really appeals to me. Anyway, that is someone's written on the back here to say what colour the beads are. Can't see that, but say what beads they need, which is cute. I like secondhand things. They're it means that you're not I don't know, less things need to be produced. And to be honest, I may, once I finish with Royal Games 1, offer it to someone at a cheap price because I haven't drawn on it. I got some more patterns. The funny thing about this is I didn't realise until all of these got sent to me, the theme. I'm going to show you them all, and then you can laugh at me. Hang on, let me just get them out of their little plastic bags. I also got some charms because they were cheap, and I have a plan for them. Got this tiny spoon, and I got this little key, and these are from Peakside Needlecraft. Peakside Needlecraft are seriously underrated, I think. They have an amazing selection of patterns. They have very cheap UK delivery, or free if you order over £30, and they send things out literally the next day. So when you order, if you order before a certain time, you literally get them the next day. And if you order, yeah, their delivery is incredible. I've never had a bad experience with Peakside Needlecraft. I haven't had a bad experience with anywhere, but Peakside Needlecraft I rate particularly high. Yeah, they're very good. So let me show you what I bought. I got 3 charts from Ink Circles. So that is Rabbit Rabbit January, which I think is adorable. That is Rabbit Rabbit March, which I think is also adorable. I won't do white rabbits though, no. And that is Rabbit Rabbit February, which is great. Obviously, those all have a theme. Then I got A Basketful of Love, Time for All Seasons, Series 4, which I've been looking at for ages, and I absolutely adore this. And I was like, it's really big. I don't know if I'll stitch it. And what I was looking for was like small things that I could just kind of stitch quite quickly. But I've been looking at this every time I go to the site, and I was like, do you know what? I clearly want it. I'm just going to get it because I love it. So anyway, I got that one. And then I got this, Sweet Pea by Nadezdha. And Sweet Pea is a 3D hair that you cross stitch and then stitch together to make it 3D. And I'm very, very excited about this. I have plans for this I'll talk to you about in a second. Anyway, I got these, all of these. I'm showing them to Chris. It's like, I'm really excited. Look at all these things that I got. And Chris was like, why did you buy so many charts with rabbits on? I was like, what? Whoops. Apparently, when I was looking on the Peakside Needlecraft website, I just wanted rabbits. So anyway, I bought 5 charts with rabbits on, mostly so that I could have a few little small pieces that I could do in between all the friggin' massive pieces that I'm already doing. But anyway, I'm really excited about all of them. I think the next one I'm going to start is the 3D hair. I'll talk about it in a second. But I also got this one outside of the theme. But I got this. I looked at all of the Fragments in Time series from 2021, the C one. This is the only one that I was like, I definitely want to stitch that because they're all full coverage, so it's quite a commitment. But this is it's 51 by 51, so it's very small, and I just absolutely love it. I think it's gorgeous. I won't finish it like this. I'll just do it as a small and put it into my journal, but I love it. So yeah. Anyway, let's talk a little bit more about Nadezdha, because I'm really excited about this. However, the antique look is not for me. So I have this fabric. Oh, it's rustly. In my stash. I mean, I'm thinking about it. I think it's all designed to be on 32 count. And unfortunately, this is a 28 count, so I would have to do some reworking in times. Like, they give you an outline for the hair to be like, this is how big you need to cut your hair to be. So it might not work on a 28 count. I might need to be on a 32 count. But I'm very, very sorely tempted by the very acidic yellow hair. Anyway, that is that. On other things that arrive, do you remember a few weeks ago I told you about the sheer full coverage design I wanted to do? Well, the fabric arrived. This is Hyades from Chromatic Alchemy. It's a... Oh. Well, they ordered a 27 count. Why would they order a 27 count? Anyway, apparently I ordered a 27 count. I mean, I quite like a 27 count. That's very odd. Anyway, I did really enjoy stitching Dreaming Girl, so maybe I did order a 27 count, I just don't remember. Anyway, this is a 27 count. This is very helpful. Sam gives you a note to say what you ordered. So if you're like me and you're like, I have no idea what I ordered, you can know and you can keep your fabric in it. Anyway, it's 18 by 26. It's a freaking massive piece. Anyway, I absolutely adore it, and it's going to be the background for that big Shira full coverage piece. So yes, I'm very excited about it, and I will be starting that. Probably not quite yet, but at some point in the future. The other fabric that I got was from 123 Stitch. I didn't go wild, but if I'm going to order something from America, I'm not going to order one thing from America. And America. Basically, I told you last time that I'd fallen out of love with the fabric that I ordered from my Princess Eliana, and I wanted to look for different fabric. And I looked at all the things available in the UK, and I just wasn't in love with any of them, which is a real shame, because like I absolutely love the things available from the UK dyers, but just none of them were like right. And what I found that was what I wanted is this. This is Cauldron. This is 28 count Cauldron from Picture This Plus. And I am absolutely thrilled with it. Like, you don't know until you get the fabric what it's going to look like exactly. You can look at the pictures online and get a kind of sense, but this is what I wanted. Like, it's a grey purple. It has these orange splotches. I think she's going to look incredible on it, and I'm so much happier with this than I was with the original fabric I'd chosen, which is Heroic. And I will use the Heroic for other things, and I've got a huge amount of it, so like I will be using it for a lot of other things, but this makes me want to start her, so I'm really happy about it. The other reason that I wanted to order something from 123 Stitch is that I wanted something. I bought that chatelaine pattern, which is Octopus Treasure Cave. Now, I'm in the middle of I've ordered a kit for that from Zarina at Hawkins Hobbies. Basically, if you're in the UK, it's slightly cheaper to get Hawkins Hobbies to kit that up for you, because you don't have to pay import fees potentially from the usual supplier of chatelaines in the US, whose name I can't remember because I'm not buying it from them. I'm buying it from Hawkins Hobbies. Anyway, that's going to take 3 months to get to me, so another 2 months. But in the meantime, I wanted to get my fabric sorted. And again, I looked at all the UK suppliers, and what I wanted just didn't really exist over here. And I could probably have got something hand dyed, like I could probably have ordered something, but it would have cost me extra, and like, why do that when what I want already exists, but just on the state side? So what I got was Gothic. And I mean, that is a particularly exciting bit of the Gothic. The rest of it is not quite as exciting, but this is another 28 count piece of Picture This Plus, and I think Octopus Treasure Cave is going to look absolutely incredible on it. I'm really excited about it. And again, you don't know what it's going to look like until it gets here. So I did order a second piece of kind of bluish fabric just in case. So I ordered Haunted, which is this. However, that is what I wanted. I wanted a Gothic, so Haunted will be will go into my stash for something else. And like I have a big enough piece that I will put something else really big onto it, and I'm not worried about finding something to do with it because it's beautiful. Yeah. Then these two were just flights of fancy. You know I love red fabric. This is Phoenix, Lugana, and oh boy, it's not quite that red. That's coming across very red. It's slightly less red than that, but it's also slightly more mottled than that. But it's very nice. I'm very, very, very happy with that. I got a slightly smaller piece of that, 17 by 25, which is still big enough to put, like, for example, I could have put the new normal onto that. So I could put another like sampler on it or something. But yeah, I'll find a use for that. And finally, I got this one, which is just like, this is Huntress. It's a 28 count opalescent, and I just think with the darker fabrics, you can see the opalescence so much more, and this is going to be an absolute pain to stitch on because the fabric is so reflective and so dark that this is going to be a nightmare. However, I think whatever I put on it is going to look absolutely incredible. But yeah, this is going to be a challenge. I was just going to see if I could find a corner so I could. Yeah, it's going to be very, very, very challenging. That's going to be a daylight only with something lit underneath it to stitch on that one. But I think anything on that would look absolutely incredible. Like for example, if I put one of those Mirabilias with slightly lightened colours on here, would look incredible. So yes, it was slightly more haul than I was anticipating. I probably wouldn't buy this much stuff again, but I went a bit wild, and it just there were a couple of things that I was looking for, and then I just tacked a few other things onto the orders. So yeah, that was it. Please don't tell me that I've not made bad choices. You don't need to do that. Anyway, I think that was everything I had to tell you about. We went to the theatre last week, which was really nice. We went to see Constellations, which is a play about a couple going through very serious times, and it's kind of like also about string theory, and it was fantastic. It was quite serious, so I wouldn't necessarily say that it was enjoyable as much as it was just really theatrical and very interesting. And we went to see Sheila Tim in it because they've got 4 different couples playing the lead roles that are kind of cycling. And we went to see Sheila Tim, and unfortunately I can't remember the man's name who played the male lead, but Sheila Tim is just absolutely phenomenal. Like when she's on stage, I mean she's on stage the full time, but you just can't take your eyes off her. She's just incredible. It was a bit unfortunate actually because the man, also really good. Just, I mean, you can't really stand next to her, and anyone next to her, you just kind of, it was very unfortunate. But anyway, yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And we hadn't realised actually that it was their first. It was put on by the Donmar Warehouse, which is one of these small producing theatres in London, independent, not on the West End, but with a very, very good reputation. They're very well renowned, and it was their first show since they were shut down by COVID that had been put on a stage live in front of an audience in 15 months. So the artistic director came out at the end and kind of said so, and there was a big cheer from the audience, which was very nice. But it was quite staggering to hear that, really, because you're sort of in your own little world. You forget how long it's been since we've all been doing things. So yeah, that was a bit of a a bit of a reality check, but it was nice, and it was really nice to be out and doing something. You had to wear masks all the way through, which meant that it was more difficult when you were like ugly crying to kind of deal with it. But anyway, so that was the last couple of weeks. The next 2 weeks, I'm back at work. We're ramping up to full time, so by the start of July, I probably should be full time. We've had a promotion, so we'll be working 1 day a week as a business partner, and the rest as a HR officer. So it's just going to get busier, I think, and more serious, more to do. But it's quite exciting. It's good to have that opportunity to do a little bit more, and yeah, that's kind of what's been going on. Yeah. Hopefully, we won't have quite so much heat in the UK, because the last week was just awful. We got up to like 30 degrees, which I know if you're American sounds ridiculous. You're like, why can't you deal with 30 degrees? But our houses are just are basically only designed to maintain heat. So when it gets hot, our houses just get hotter and hotter and hotter, and you just can't cool them down. It's ridiculous. So also, I'm from the north, so I'm used to it getting to like 24 degrees at the very hottest. And then you come down to London, and I think last year we had a week where it was like 38 degrees, and it was awful. It was just the worst. I'm just rambling now. Anyway, hopefully it won't be that hot. But anyway, I shall end there. Thank you for joining me again. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I'm working on. Hopefully I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Please do like and subscribe, and yeah, it's been really nice to spend some time with you. I hope you've enjoyed spending some time with me, and I will see you again in a couple of weeks. Bye.